Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Epic Vision Zone. My name is Jane Applegath, a former award-winning stockbroker, television producer, script writer, yoga instructor, and now serial entrepreneur and founder of the Epic Vision Zone. My goal is to bring your dream to life. I get you to see your vision and get people to fall in love with your idea and the extraordinary value that only you can bring to it, because my wish is for you to experience the life you've always imagined while doing what you love. Here at the Epic Vision Zone, we bring you some of the world's most influential people to inspire you to hit the go button on your epic life. A big thank you to everyone for being here today. Yasmin Mohid wrote, "Speak your heart. If they don't understand, the message was never meant for them anyway." Marie Apuan says mixing manifestation and messaging is like a seduction concoction that changes the world one word at a time. I love that. An expert copywriter and funnel strategist, Dawn helps entrepreneurs nail their messaging to create the movement, the impact, the influence, and the money they're committed to creating. She is also a #1 Amazon bestselling author of I Retired Him, a copywriter story guide for female coaches, course creators, and every entrepreneur who wants to create the life and business of her dreams. A former ordained pastor and nonprofit executive, Dawn was on a mission to be a stay-at-home mom for her daughter. She spent evenings studying websites, copywriting, marketing, social media, and everything she could get her hands on to learn how she could make money online and be at home with her daughter. It was during this time that she realized what started as a desperate attempt to pull herself out of depression, anxiety, and a thankless job that turned into an incredible discovery of how she could still serve individuals, just in a different capacity. Today, Dawn's passion is teaching wealth and spiritual coaches how to create phenomenal messaging and copy so that they can increase their income, influence, and impact in the world. Welcome, Dawn. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I can't wait to delve into this topic.
Hi, Jane. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I love your story, and we're going to get a little bit into that right here as to when you weren't always your own boss at the beginning. And Dawn and I talked earlier. Give us some insight into your journey to becoming a successful entrepreneur, because I know there are a lot of women that are making this transition now in their life.
Yes, absolutely. And that is such an exciting fact for me to watch happen as more women go into entrepreneurship. And yeah, as you mentioned, I was an executive director of a nonprofit alongside my husband, doing about 80,000 services in our community per year for the homeless and low income families. It was a very busy and demanding job. And I had my daughter, and in the beginning, I just took things in stride. She came, I have lots of pictures of her just strapped to me in her little backpack as I was teaching and preaching and serving meals and doing all the things that I had done before. And then when she was a year and a half old, we got moved by the organization that we worked for to a different city, different location. And at that point, they required me to put her in childcare. And that's when I just couldn't handle it. I was having panic attacks. I didn't want someone else to raise my daughter. So I started Googling work from home, and a long series of events led me to copywriting. I initially learned affiliate marketing. So building funnels, running Facebook ads, and then making commissions off of what I sold doing that. And then from there, people kept asking me for help with copy because everything I was doing was converting really well. And so I looked more into copywriting, had no idea prior to that what that word even meant, and just fell in love with it. And so as I increased my skills and got better at booking clients and networking and things like that, we were able to leave full-time ministry and work in a nonprofit for a little while before I quit my job entirely. And then a year after that, I was able to retire my husband. So that's been my journey in a nutshell.
That is amazing. I really, really want to give it to you for the tenacity, because it took work, and stepping into something completely unknown, completely different. And and hallelujah to you. I mean, congratulations, because that change was, obviously due to hard work and tenacity and persistence, but you came through with flying colors, even more so than I thought you would have ever imagined when you started searching online for something that you could do. So when you were researching online, in fact, the job possibilities, you said you discovered something more life-changing in the process. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's something I often say that entrepreneurship saved my life. And I don't say that flippantly, it's for real. As you mentioned, I was struggling with depression, I was having anxiety attacks. Really, it goes back further. The summer that this whole scenario was unfolding of changing jobs and uh, needing to put my daughter in childcare, I was the same age as my brother when he passed away, and my daughter was the same age as his son. So my brother struggled with depression and ended up taking his life and leaving behind his beautiful wife and his 16-month-old son. And my daughter was 18 months, very close in age, and I was struggling emotionally. I wasn't at the point of suicide, but because I had that in my background and part of my story, it was very real to me in those months of, I'm not going to let my life end that way, but I can't keep going the way it's going. And so what I ultimately found was personal development through entrepreneurship. It was the digital marketing courses, oddly enough, that talked about Tony Robbins, talked about mindset, you know, referred me to books. I'm an avid reader. And so I read book after book after book on changing my mindset and shifting from victimhood, which is where I was living. It was a bit of an abusive situation at work. We had been told that we were failures because our church wasn't big enough and wasn't bringing in the stats that they wanted. And that's why my husband and I were moved and why I had to put my daughter in childcare. So I was very much living in this victim mode, which I think a lot of people live in, whether they're conscious of it or not. And the big shift came through personal development, where I learned, everything is for me, not to me. And when I really took hold of that and decided, okay, being told a failure is going to be for me, getting moved is going to be for my good and for my family's good, everything shifted. And I just started believing in myself. I started believing that it didn't matter the timeline so much. I knew it was inevitable. I believed my success was inevitable, and there was no way I was going to accept failure. And through that journey, I became such a different person. I found healing from my brother's death, from that victim state of, how crushing it was to be told I was a failure after working so hard. So many things that came as a result in my life. I'm a different person. I'm a different mom. I'm a different wife than I ever could have been had I not gone through that growth. So I'm so grateful, even though it was very hard. It's a very challenging time of my life. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. But I was able to turn it around and turn it into something so beautiful, really, truly living the life of my dreams now.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn, for sharing that. It is so true. And we grow through our challenges. And really, perspective is so powerful. I mean, the perspective of how we see things, like you said, changing from a victim mode to a empowered mode, and also seeing things that happen for me, not to me, just changing those words. And of course, you know how powerful words are. So but I'm so glad you're here and that you shared that with us, because there are a lot of individuals today that are actually suffering from a lot of that. And I have to just mention, it's interesting how you were a pastor and you were there serving, and they told you that you were a failure. It just doesn't, there's such a disconnect somewhere in there. I don't know. I just had to mention that. But thank you so much for
It's
sharing it
very
and for
true.
being here. Yeah, I'm sure you could tell us a lot about that. This might be your next book. Anyway, but thank you. And this goes right into our next question, in fact. I'm very curious myself, messaging versus copywriting. What is the difference between those two? Or is there a difference?
Yeah, it's a great question and something that's often confused. When I talk about messaging, which really needs to come first before copywriting, lots of people want to jump right into copywriting and skip this step. Please don't do that. So, your messaging is your overall brand messaging. What are your brand values? What do you stand for? What do you stand against? Um, this includes what I call a one liner, which is how you say what you do in 10 words or less, your media bio, so 3 to 5 sentences that really sum up who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them. And then also can include a tagline. So if you think of very familiar companies like Nike, "Just Do It" is their tagline, McDonald's, "I'm loving it," that sort of thing. So a more fun tagline that encompasses messaging. So that is messaging, and that is your foundation. Your copy comes after that. And copy, my favorite definition, is the art of getting other people to do what you want them to do, but for their reasons. And I'll give you an example of what that means. Because so many people think copywriting or sales is salesy or sleazy. They think of the used car salesman when it comes to selling their offers, and it's not that at all. The art of getting other people to do what you want them to do for their reasons. My favorite example is my daughter when she was 3 and 4 years old. Like many kids, did not like her hair getting brushed. And, it was not a war every morning, but a mini battle. And what I started doing was saying, "Today, would you like a Cinderella bun or an Elsa braid?" And probably 99% of the time, she would choose whichever princess she wanted to look like. And it didn't have to just be those two. We've done lots of hairstyles based on princesses. But you'll notice I got what I wanted, which was for her hair to be brushed and not look like she was raised in a barn. And then she got what she wanted for her reason. She wanted to look and feel like a princess. So when we think about this with our businesses, you want to think about, what does your ideal client want to feel? What do they want that will have them saying yes to your solution? That's what you want. You want them saying yes to become your client or your customer, but it has to be for their reasons. And we position our offers such that they buy that result, that feeling like a princess.
That is a fabulous example. Oh my gosh, I love that. Well, I would say that
Thank you.
every woman probably wants to feel like a princess or a goddess or a queen. but but yeah, that is brilliant, really brilliant. And what a simple solution. I mean, what a brilliant way to give us an example of how that would work. Because I could see them wanting, your little daughter wanting to become that individual. And like you said, feel. That's the key word, I think. How do you want your customer to feel? Because it's the experience of them embodying that is going to make them want to step into that. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. Well, you say that,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I absolutely, so brilliant. My mind is going, okay, how can I word mine to get them to
Yeah.
think,
People
okay, what
buy on emotion.
they do. Absolutely. We all buy on emotion. It's how, whatever we're buying, or even if it's a car or a house, or it's how it makes us feel, right? Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
100% a service. So you say that money is in the messaging. I could certainly see that here, what you just said, but what factors do you feel are responsible for the results of a successful copywriting campaign?
Yeah, I think it's what we've just been talking about, the ability to understand your ideal clients even better than they understand themselves, right? Like you're getting at those underlying emotions, those deep, deep desires that maybe they're not even admitting out loud yet. And speaking to that, you're speaking to where they're at currently and where they want to go, how they want to feel. And those are the most successful. That's why I say the money is in the messaging, because if you are not connecting with your ideal clients, or if you're boring and you don't hook people in because we're so ADD these days, you have 3 seconds to get people's attention and keep holding it. So, really your copy has to grab and it has to keep them hooked and tap into those emotions in order for them to open their purse, because there's always fear, so you have to overcome the fear of them believing enough in themselves that you can work for them.
Can you give us an example of one that you really like? Say a company or a business that maybe you've worked with or that's out there, so you can give us another idea.
Oh man, there's so many good examples. I don't watch a lot of TV, but if you start paying attention to commercials, um, commercials have some really great marketing, and things that I pull out that you can learn from them. For example, in our family, we almost daily refer to Daryl. If you've seen the Bigfoot commercial, and he's like looking at his feet, and the woman, I think it's for Progressive Insurance, and she says, Bigfoot, and he just looks at her and he's like, "What'd you just call me? My name is Daryl." And we comment about it all the time as a family. So we remember because of that. So really it's messaging and marketing that like connects with people, whether it's through laughter, because that's an emotion of like happiness or joy. The other commercial that comes to mind is Noom, which is a weight loss company. And they really go for the psychology behind weight loss, not just a certain diet, or a particular exercise or something like that. And their entire commercial, so the 30 seconds, is just person after person coming on the screen and saying, I've tried every diet in the past and nothing worked. Because how many people have that objection to another diet, right? So, and that's all it is. And then at the very end, it just says like new. So you have no idea. You're just watching this commercial, and it's testimonial after testimonial hitting on objections and getting to the emotion. I mean, how desperate and frustrated are you feeling if you've tried every diet and you still haven't lost the weight? Again, that's getting to somebody's emotions and kind of like digging the knife a little bit. But
Yeah.
then on the other hand, they're saying, this finally worked for me. And obviously you're seeing them. And I think in that video, they also show like a before picture kind of to the side of the person speaking, so that you can see again, think about the emotion that's stirred when you see a before and after photo.
Yeah.
That's why before and afters are so powerful, especially in the weight loss industry, because the emotion that's stirred around, the negative emotions of being overweight and struggling with your weight, to the positive emotion of confidence and how good they feel and buying new clothes and being on video. These people who are doing the testimonials, feel so good about themselves. So I think that one is just a really, really great example of using emotion and using social proof, which is probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful keys in copywriting, is that social proof.
Social proof, yeah. And the visual is like so powerful. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Mhm.
thank you for those examples. I love the one is got the humor and the other is the pain, because like you said, people get frustrated, they get down on themselves, nothing's going to work. So yes, absolutely. And those are so both very powerful emotions that they're tapping into. I now would love to introduce our audience to the book that you wrote, I Retired Him. Tell us the inspiration behind this, and give us a little insight into the book.
Yeah, I'd love to. So the book is broken up into three parts. The beginning is my story, where I share a little bit of what I shared here, but go more in depth on what happened with us in our ministry and those steps downhill, as you would say, until we left. And then part two is the mindset changes. Basically, I have this belief that when you change your mindset, you can change your life. And I think I go through 13 different key lessons that I learned along the way. And then part three goes into a bit more of our conversation here on messaging. What is messaging? What is copywriting? How can you use that? And I give a ton of valuable insights on applying it to your own business. So those are the main parts of the book. And the inspiration there was just that I'm super passionate about women in business. There's women own 40% of the businesses in America, but bring in 4% of the profit. And 80% of female owned businesses never make more than 50K a year. And so some of that went into this book. I was like, well, I have to share my story. When I started my copywriting business, I went 0 to 6 figures in 11 months, and I more than doubled that my second year. And I had no idea that that was kind of crazy and more like unicorn. I just thought that was normal. I worked hard. I was still working full time at that point. Um, I guess I'm just a very driven person. And then somebody pointed out to me, no, only 12% of women owned businesses get past 6 figures. And because I had done that, because I had completely changed my life and gone from depression to more joy than I had ever had it in my entire life, that I even thought was possible. Like, I always had this mindset that life was just hard. And even before things got really, really hard at work, I just kind of always had this view that life was hard and, death and taxes, right? The two things that are promised or guaranteed. But really, it was that journey of coming into a life that I adore, that I love waking up to, and realizing that that was different than a lot of people. Like, there are some people sometimes that are just like, why are you so happy? It's almost that I've become this like weird thing of like, you're not complaining about anything and everything. Why are you so happy? And it just is that life has changed. I've chosen not to be a victim anymore. Just so many things I've learned along the way. And I wanted to inspire other women to do the same. And that truly is in the dedication. I dedicate it to my daughter, who was the catalyst for me going on this journey, really, because I'd be home to raise her. And to every person who has a big dream and is struggling to believe that it's possible, I wanted to inspire people to go after any dream.
That's Yes, absolutely. I think you've come full circle. There is no question that we often, and it's not just why you thought that way. It's if you think of our society, it's when you go to school, you have to work hard. When you get a job, work hard and you'll get ahead. Anything that you do, if you listen to the words, and of course, now that you're in this, and it will shock you how many times we as individuals say, if you're going to be a success, if you're going to win, if you're going to be an influence, you have to do it the hard way. But why does it have to be hard? Why can't work be joyful? I mean,
Amen.
go go to work and work joyfully. Can you imagine? Somebody, you should say that to someone and they'll stop and go, What did you just say? Because
Yeah,
people
I
don't
actually
think.
read a stat one day that 84% of Americans hate their job, which I thought was
Yeah,
very
it's
high.
it's sad. It is. And this is why I think
Mhm.
there's a huge transition going on. And so your story is so timely and will resonate with so many individuals. And it is so important for people to realize that we cannot change our past, but we can create our future. And we are more powerful
Amen.
than we ever think we are. So thank you for that. And I now moving on to some of your information that I grabbed. You have AIDA on your website. It's an acronym, but I would love for you to share with our audience what that is.
Yeah, for sure. It's a super easy tool. I don't know who created it, but it stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So basically, it is a tool for you to remember when you're writing an email, a social media post, your sales page. Those are the four things you want to make sure are part of that. So, attention, the first one, you grab their attention. That's your headline. That's you have 3 seconds to get them to not keep scrolling. Interest means you pull them even more. You make them curious. Curiosity is one of the things that will make or break your copy. You must invoke curiosity. And then D is desire. What is that thing that they deeply want? What we've already been talking about, those emotions, that problem they need solved. And then the last A is just action. And it sounds very simplistic, but you need to have a call to action and you need to tell people exactly what to do. Like, click the red button that says buy now. It sounds, oversimplified, but step by step, tell your people what to do to take that action to get that solution for their problem.
I love that. That's a fabulous prompt for anybody who's posting on social media, writing copy for their website, sending out an e-letter or an email to individuals. That's Thank you for sharing that. That is really important and so simple. But I know that you've probably read several maybe emails that you get, and you're just like, what do they want me to do? What is this all about? Oh my gosh, I'm bored already. It's like you said, you really have
Yes.
to. But with that, that's like a foundation. So it's really great, and you keep it simple. And if you follow that, then you're hitting all of the keys for people to respond. Thank you. That's wonderful. Now you have a free copy called it's Copy Keys, an ebook, and give us a little insight into that and how people can get a hold of it.
Yeah, I created this ebook to help entrepreneurs, with just some really quick tips. I think there's 15 proven keys. So I came up with, the top 15 things. One of them is emotion. I'll give it away, but there's 14 more. So you'll want to check it out. And then actually, as a bonus, when you get this PDF, this ebook, you'll also get 5 days of mini trainings. Each training is like 5 to 10 minutes. And I give a ton of like really quick copy tips that will just help you connect with your people, words to use, words not to use. Really just try to, in the shortest amount of time possible, give you actionable things that you can do right away in your business to start seeing conversions. And I've had people make thousands of dollars from implementing one of these tips, and you'll get all 15 in the ebook plus that video training. I'm most active on Instagram, so if you look me up on Instagram, dawn.copyqueen, you can send me a DM with the word copy keys, and I'll make sure that you get a copy of that.
That sounds fabulous. Oh my gosh, Dawn, I have to say that your information and the free stuff that you provide for people is really valuable. I mean, the fact that you have that, and then you have those prompts, those little videos, that is so generous. And if you forget to connect with Dawn on Instagram. You will find all of the links and information on the Epic Vision Zone bio page that will be available for you to find everything and anything that you need from Dawn. So be sure and check that out. So we talked earlier, and you have very unique way of approaching this copywriting and messaging. What makes your services unique. So give us some insight into this, because I found this fascinating and so useful.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that makes me different, besides being a female copywriter, which there are more of us coming up in the ranks, but we're still the minority uh, versus many, many men in this industry. We call it bro marketing, lovingly. Um, Lots of bro marketers out there that just doesn't work for women. And, coupling the fact that I'm a woman with my background as a pastor, I infuse a lot of spirituality into my writing. So I do meditations and visualizations before I write. So it's not just a skill set, which I have learned and taken courses, to know what the proven formulas are and things like that. But it's also a very intuitive and inspiration based copy that I do for my clients. So a lot of my clients have some kind of spirituality practices as well. And, they're in the manifestation space, or they combine that in with whatever it is that they teach and do, and believe that it matters, that the energy that you're in when you're writing matters, that the energy that you infuse into your words matters, that it carries along with it this almost unconscious message. So it's not just the actual words, but the energy and the spiritual side too. So a lot of my clients, as I mentioned, are in the spiritual space as well. So it really appeals to them the way that I write, and including this kind of energy into their writing, which they really love, and it gets really great results.
I know it would get great results because I, like you, believe that we are our source of energy. And putting a visualization, taking that time before you just bang out some copy, I think is so powerful. It's unique, and I think then you resonate with what you really want to say. Um, yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, because Dawn and I had that earlier conversation, and I said, wow, that would make for copy. I could see why they get some great results. Absolutely. So, your mission, why do you do what you do?
I do what I do. I see it really as a ministry. I know people are like, how did you go from a pastor to a copywriter? That's a really big leap. Um, Even though, I was writing sermons and Bible studies, but um, I see it as a mission or a ministry because I want to create more good in the world. And business owners, entrepreneurs, we solve problems. That's like a basic definition of being a business owner, is that you solve problems by providing a solution that's paid for people to invest in. And I love helping my clients, who most of whom are digital course creators, coaches. They're in the transformation space of some kind, because that really matters to me. I don't write copy, say, for deodorant or something like that. I've always written copy for people who are life changers. They're in the transformation game. They're making a difference in the world, because I absolutely believe that the world will become a better place when we have good people making good money, doing good things with that money, making, like, helping people live better lives. Really, then the world gets happier. Like we were talking about the victim mindset earlier. If there are more of us talking about it and coaching and helping other people, it's just going to have this ripple effect. And so that is why I write, because I know that when you have the right message, you're going to sell a lot more. You're going to get more clients and customers who then their lives can be changed, and they're going to pass that on to their children, to their spouses, to their communities. And it's just this beautiful ripple effect of change in the world.
Thank you. That you're right. It actually is. It is a ripple effect, because when you change, others around you change, and that could be monetary, that could be mindset, it could be a combination of all of the above. But yes, there's no question that I feel when you came to the realization that you don't need to live life as a victim. Not only did your life change, but your husband's life changed. Not that you retired him, but I'm sure now he's experienced what you've learned, and your daughter is experiencing a life so full of joy, and you will teach her what you have learned, and those around you. So that is so powerful and so true. Thank you for sharing that. What do you hope people will walk away with from your services?
Oh, great question. Whether it's people who are just learning from me, since I do a lot of training, I share a lot on social media just for free about copywriting, as well as my done for you clients. I think what I want people to walk away with is, that ability to believe in themselves, believe that their messaging is connecting. I'm big on connection, that human connection that we all need, and and then making a difference. So, like I said earlier, when they're selling more, they're able to impact more lives in addition to just their own. When we make more money, money gives us choices. It's just a tool. It gives us choices, right? For instance, I'm able to now send my daughter to private school, which is a choice that I can make because of my business, or to retire my husband. Again, a choice that was made possible by money. It gives you choices to live your best life. And when people are living their best life, it's contagious. And again, we come back to making the world a better place. So that's really, truly what I'm here to do. And what I hope people get out of it is just inspiration, motivation to communicate effectively and make a difference.
I love that. When you live your best life, it's contagious. It's true. You touch other people.
People want what you have.
Exactly. They're going to go, well, wait a minute. Now, what are you doing? It's making you so happy all the time. It's funny because at the beginning you said people say, what's the matter? Why are you so happy?
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, what they should be saying is, I want what you've got. What are you doing? Not like, what's the matter?
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That just landed for me. I'm like, what's the matter with people? You'd be like, I want what you've got. What are you doing? Not like, what's the matter? It's what's the matter with me? You're in a good mood. Okay, we got to
Mm-hmm.
make this work now,
Exactly.
Dawn. I love it. So what are you most excited about now in your life?
Am I most excited about? I just freaking love my life, but I would say I'm most excited now. I've added another branch to my business where I'm not just writing copy for clients. I'm also coaching copywriters on and other business owners. So it's not just limited to copywriters, but other female entrepreneurs as well, on how to build a profitable business, but from the spiritual and mindset perspective. So yes, I have systems and tools and things, but I really focus on the mindset, human design, NLP, tapping, different tools that help us live that best life. The reason that I'm able to be so happy every day because of some of those practices. So through my coaching, I get to see these aha moments of just like, oh my gosh, I've never seen it that way before. Of people who are, I think we laugh about how grumpy people are and how complain driven we are and things like that. But so much of that is because we have this like wounded childhood that we walk around with still. We're, a bunch of wounded children in adult bodies making decisions from those childhood hurts and pains. And when we can go back and heal and step into, who we're really meant to be as adults, it's life changing. It's absolutely life changing. And I get to see that light spark in my clients' eyes, even via Zoom. You can still see it. You can see the shifts in their body as they have these aha moments, and they're freed. They're freed from those wounds, from the childhood trauma, from the limiting beliefs, from the things that have kept them small or kept them scared. And that, man, it's such a blessing to be part of that work. So that's what most excites me right now. I think I still love writing the copy for my clients, but there's so much potential to inspire and bring change through coaching other people. Again, that ripple effect. So that's what I'm looking at growing right now.
Yes, I can feel that. All I kept thinking was you've come full circle because you were a pastor. So therein lies the passion. Therein lies the servant, attitude. Yeah. So coaching others to do what you have done and to uplift their lives. Absolutely. You're right. I love that. We're all grumpy adults living our childhood and we got to move forward because that's exactly what it is, with all those fears, with all those challenges that we didn't overcome or didn't understand. And there's a whole other life out there that you can actually create for yourself. So, and I see it in you. So it's just wonderful because not only are you coaching that, but you have lived through it. So you've got the life story that says this is what you can have as well. Yeah. So I'm waiting for that book or maybe a very
It's
short
coming.
one. Okay. Absolutely. So any last words that you would like to share with our audience?
I think all I'd want to say is go after it. Figure out what lights you up and go do it. Because what the world needs are people who are lit up, excited, and on fire.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm there with you all the way. I love that. So I have one last question because we're here on the Epic Vision Zone. If your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
Ooh, such a good question. What would the title be? I think I would have to say something along the lines of Hope Revealed. 3 steps from going, 3 steps to go from an okay life to an epic life. That might be my next
Okay.
book.
I love it. I love it. Let's do that. I'm waiting. When you have it ready, we'll be here. And I love that you said
I'll
three
let you know.
steps. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Well, thank you again, Dawn, for joining us here today. And be sure to check out Dawn's website at Dawn. Oh my gosh. Help me with your name again.
DonUp1.com.
There you go, DawnUp1.com. It looks way different when you spell it. And you can also find
It
Dawn's
does.
contact information and much more on the Epic Vision Zone bio pages. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath. And don't forget, you can reach out to me at janeapplegath.com where you can grab your free download, The Keys to Your Dreams. Looking forward to hearing from you. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dreams into epic success.